Hey YouTube friends, welcome back to another week of Yapping Session by yours truly. So this week started out very eventful because we were sending our daughter to school on Monday morning, and usually I'm the only one that sent her because my wife has to work, but on the day she was off, so we were riding two bicycles. My wife was ferrying my daughter on her bicycle and I was on my own bicycle. So we're riding from our house to her school, and as we were about to cross the road to her school at the traffic light, and I saw these two guys. They were sitting down on beside the road, on the grass patch beside the road, and there was a motorbike that was parked on the road, just beside the curb, but it was facing the wrong direction. And this was the motorcyclist who was a local Singaporean guy, I assume, and there was a foreign worker from, I don't know which country he's from, but I'm guessing he's from Bangladesh, and he was also they were sitting like beside each other but a little bit apart, and there was a bicycle in between them. So as I was waiting for the light to turn green, man, I just felt that there was something wrong in looking at that. Like, something in me felt that there was something unusual about that scene because of how the motorbike was facing the wrong direction, right? So what I did when it finally turned green and we cycled across the road was to ask both of them, like, do they need help? What was wrong? And the motorcyclist allegedly said that that wasn't the right way to use it. So the motorcyclist said that allegedly he banged into the foreign worker who was on his bicycle. So as I got closer to them, I saw that the bicycle was dented. So I think a bicycle should look like that when it's lying down, but the bicycle was like this. So obviously there was an accident, but because we came just after it, we didn't witness the accident. But what was surprising to me was when I asked the motorcyclist if he had called the ambulance, because I saw him on the phone, and I asked him if he has called the ambulance. And guess what he said? He said he was talking to his father and he hasn't called the ambulance. And I was really shocked because the foreign worker who was beside him was obviously in pain. He was still alive, he was still conscious, but he was rolling around in pain. And in my mind, I just was like, what is going on here? Why the fuck haven't you called the ambulance? So I was like, I took out my phone and I told my wife to send my daughter to school because it's just up the slope. I I parked my bicycle there and I called the ambulance. And it was my first time calling 995, so I was surprised they picked up at the first ring. And I had to describe the scene to the dispatcher. And after that, immediately after I put down, there was an ambulance that came. And I thought that this was for the both of them. But this was because my house is on the way to Ng Teng Fong Hospital. So this is the route that ambulance take. But the ambulance wasn't for them. The ambulance was for another patient, and driver the driver and the paramedic was just looking out the window like, what's happening here? And they moved on. So while we waited for the ambulance, I helped the motorcyclist to bring his bike into the road because it was quite unsafe. It was just parked outside the road and there were oncoming vehicles. So I helped him move the bike, and his leg was bleeding. So, and he was obviously in a lot of pain as well because I assume that he skidded after allegedly hitting the bicycle, the foreign worker on the bicycle. So I helped him move his bike, and he was limping and the bike was really heavy and needed two of us to do it. But we managed to do it, and he sat on the pavement. So the pavement was just beside where the grass patch that we initially seated. And he sat down there because there was also a traffic light to cross the road. So what happened was according to the motorcyclist, the cyclist dashed across the road allegedly before the pedestrian crossing had turned green in his favor. And that was how the accident happened, allegedly. Notice how I keep using allegedly because I'm a journalist, so I wasn't that trained to I wasn't at the scene, so that's why I felt like I needed to use the word allegedly or witness it to happen. But anyway, so yeah, after that, the the police called me. So after calling the ambulance, I got a call from the traffic police, and it was funny because before the traffic police called us, there were these two passerbys, two women who passed by, and they gave us tissues. And they didn't ask us if we had called the ambulance, but I assume they did, or someone driving along the road, or even the ambulance before that had called the police. So the traffic police called me and said that they didn't know exactly where we were because of multiple reports of the same incident. So I had to explain to them where the incident was, and the conversation was very funny because there was a condo that was not completed yet, that was still being built right beside the place where the accident happened. So I described the condo while saying that there's nobody living there yet, and it's probably not even on the map. And the dispatcher for the traffic police was like, do you see a condo and all that? So I told her the condo name, and she was like, where is that? So I had to tell her that it's opposite like Tanga and all that, and she finally got it. But anyway, after I put on the phone, the traffic police officer came less than 5 minutes. It's really efficient how they came so quickly. So after that, when he came, he was initially very confused because everyone, and including the motorbike, was on the pavement. So he was like, did this happen on the road or did this happen on the pavement? Because I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if it happened on the pavement, the traffic police it will not be involved in this case. But it happened on the road, so that's why it came. And that was how I started my morning on Monday. So one of the things that I asked, because we were going for breakfast after my wife had sent my daughter to school, she came back, and just as the traffic police had come, so I asked the officer if I needed to stay behind because I was calling, I had called the ambulance, I was talking to the traffic police, but he was like, oh, if you didn't witness it, if you didn't witness the accident, you are free to go. So I'm like, okay, sure, I'm off. But I think also one thing that really struck me about that, why I'm sharing this also because I felt that it was it was a close brush for me because I'm also riding a bicycle with my daughter, and I crossed that road so many times as well. And the foreign worker, like, I think it's important to know that the foreign worker, he was still conscious, but he was trying to stand up, and he was stumbling, he was in and out of consciousness, he was in pain, and he kept asking for water as well. And on hindsight, I shouldn't have given him water because I realized I didn't know what injuries he had. He had a scar on the back of his ear, but I managed to find water for him and gave it to him. But on hindsight, I realized that I should have done that. And next time I'll remember. Okay, so that's what happened on Monday itself. And on the lighter side of it, and I'll come back to this incident again, but on the lighter side of it, I went to buy my Chinese New Year clothing or Lunar New Year clothing from Love Bonito, and I can't wait to wear it. Like, got from Love Bonito. More of a skirt pants, and I can't wait to wear it with this top. So it's gonna be my Chinese Lunar New Year kind of outfit. So going back to the incident of how I witnessed that accident, right? On LinkedIn this week as well, I connected with someone who works in pre-needs planning. So pre-needs is finding niche for anyone who has passed away, especially in the columbarium and all that, and also planning funeral needs for the deceased. And as I was chatting with this woman who reached out to me, she asked to meet me, and obviously it was a recruitment meeting, but I also felt like I was very interested in knowing what she had to offer. So I met her, and it was an intriguing meeting because I realized that it is a very niche industry, and as someone who's coaching on personal branding, this instantly helps me to stand out if I were to go into this industry as well. But I also felt that this industry is recession proof in a way that everyone needs to find a way to say goodbye to their loved ones, and that is through funerals, that is through commemorating them through a niche and all that. And it's kind of, and if I didn't see that accident happen earlier on Monday, I wouldn't think so much of it. But I just felt that this week was just a close brush with death, and it led me to think about what's next for me and what's ahead for me if I'm no longer around in this world, right? So it's something that I'm willing to explore because I found out that you don't need to take an exam to become a pre-needs consultant or to sell a funeral package or become a funeral director, right? You don't really need an exam, unlike a real estate agent or a financial agent. And that is really enticing for me because I hate exams. So yeah, so I decided that I'm going to start exploring this line of work as well. I'm still going to do my personal branding coaching, my master class and all that. But I think in terms of my growth as a business owner, like I never seen myself becoming a business owner, but now that I'm one, I start to also think of what other businesses I can do and become an entrepreneur as well, and in the future lead a team or build a team. So I feel this is a way for me to get into a different industry to learn, because I always hated to do sales, but since I started to build my own business, run my own business, doing sales or being a salesperson has been a core part of my job. So I'm not afraid of rejection now. And this is why I want to do it. And this is why it's so interesting for me to go into this line of work. And at the same time also me and my wife, we caught up with a friend, and she's in charge of Years and Co. So Years and Co is like an event planner for weddings and for corporate clients. And one of the things that she wanted to discuss with us was that, and she was also a wedding planner 5 years ago. So she, sorry, not wedding planner, but more like a wedding decorations planner. So she wanted to run an idea by us, like she wanted to start a sister or sub brand that helps queer couples to get married or to commemorate their wedding or to renew their vows, because she's getting a lot of these requests throughout the years, and because of her workload she hasn't been unable to fulfill all of them. So this is something that we are looking to explore, going to business together. So yeah, instead of running one business now, I'm potentially going to start doing two other businesses, which is exciting. Yeah. And yeah, I guess this has been a very eventful week and the natural evolution of me as a solopreneur, entrepreneur. And I can't wait to do new things, explore new things. And as well this week also I caught up with two new leads that came into my inbox through LinkedIn. One of them is a queer founder who runs a healthcare wellness kind of company, and he reached out because of how I've been sharing my story. And he's launching a new product as well, and he wants help with his own personal brand, as well as me looking at getting me to come in to help his marketing team and build the system in place. And these are the kind of founders that I want to work with, and be able to help them to set up something that matters, because this is a space that will help a lot of people. So look out for that. And I had another conversation with another potential client. She's a book author who's launching a book, and she needs help with social media because she's very camera shy. So she needs me to help her with like book talk, with sharing not just about her book but about the leadership stories that she has written in her book. Watch this space also. So this is a very exciting project that I may be potentially taking on. And going back to the funeral director role, and that is something that will, I don't know when I will start, but tomorrow, which is a Saturday, I'm going down to visit the collaboratorium and also to look at how things are run. So I'm actually looking forward to that. Yeah, I think that's it for this week's yapping, and it's been truly an eventful week, a lot of things happening. So I'll see you next week. See ya!